What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy ClipK74 with another exciting video in a while. And boy, y'all know how satisfied I am with this win. So the Clippers, as y'all know, had a rough slump. Lost to the Kings, lost with the Pelicans, all the stuff. But we could not have bounced back more than ever. And it was against pretty much a mostly fully healthy LA Lakers team. They had LeBron, they had AD, they had Westbrook, they had their beloved THT, they had Malik Monk, they had Carmelo, they had Austin Reeves, basically a super team. And the Clippers only had Paul George as our true star. Our best player, Kawhi, was, unfortunately out for a while. And Nick Batum, who is really, really key for the Clippers, was also out. But boy, we played like literally like top notch. And a lot of people, when the Clippers had a really good 7-game winning streak, that critics want to nitpick us and say we played weak competition and all of that. I've seen those. I've seen those. But now, pretty much with just Paul George as our lone superstar, but we have a stacked amount of talent and bunch of heart. We have heart, and we pulled it off, bro. We pulled it off. And Ty Lue, like honestly, I know he seems frustrating at times. He will have moments like that, but when it's time to clutch up, he switches up, and oh boy, he coached amazing tonight. Like the rotations were pretty much perfect, honestly. Like so, I'm gonna talk about some of the players. First, we're gonna talk about my man PG, Paul George, MVPG. Ooh, that man was literally making tough shots. So tough. Like, the shots were so tough, players had to double him. And what happens when the star player gets doubled? You wing it up to an open player and they get it done. And he played amazing defense. Like just and his hustle was amazing. Just look at that one beautiful play when Austin Reeves could have got an easy lay. He thought that was going to happen, but Paul George, he literally swat that bad boy all out the way. My man, like he's a serious MVP candidate. But Steph Curry is probably going to get it, but hey, who knows? I think my man Paul George has a legit chance because that man really, really be on the grind. And he's proven that he's a really good leader. And a lot of people A lot of people. Oof. All the haters of Paul George now. Oh yeah, all the hype beasts, all the hype beasts, all the casuals. They down quiet. They down quiet. But now we're gonna go with some other players. And first I'm gonna talk about the rotation. That lineup of Zubac, Ibaka, Morris, PG, Reggie Jackson, that needs to stay. Like, especially with teams like the Nuggets and the Lakers. Any team that is big man oriented, that needs to stay. Because pretty much everybody played really good tonight. So we're gonna go with Ibaka. Ibaka was looking like prime OKC Ibaka. He was making threes, driving in the lane. Like one thing that's so underrated about Ibaka is his ball handling. Like for a big man, that's pretty good because he could literally get it to the from the 3-point line. He could drive it to the rack and make a nice dunk or a nice layup, and he literally contribute to a lot of things. Like I can only imagine if Ibaka played against the Phoenix Suns. Like honestly, we would have been champions if Serge Ibaka just was healthy. But unfortunately, his back took a toll on him. But now he's playing amazing. Um, Marcus Morris was making timely shots. He was making all these really, really, really clutch shots. Y- y'all saw the end of the game when Morris Sr. literally made a bank shot. He was making. He was the Marcus Morris we all wanted to see. And when Marcus Morris plays like that, he scores double digits. That's pretty tough to stop. I gotta say. And he guarded LeBron pretty well. Of course, LeBron is being LeBron, but I think Morris he held his own, and that's some really, really, really amazing stuff. And then Ivica Zubac. I'm pretty impressed with him as well too, because he actually held it his own as well too. Because we all know we get frustrated with Zubac a lot of times, but how he guarded AD, he didn't do too bad. He was making free throws. He was being a really like a brick wall inside the paint, and he did his thing against Dwight Howard. It's Dwight Howard, a really athletic big man, and a really ferocious defender. And Zubac did a solid job against Dwight Howard. Shout out to Zubac. Shout out to everybody, honestly. But now we're gonna go with Reggie Jackson, another dude who also made some nice shots, who made some amazing passes, and ooh, I love the ball movement we've been doing. The ball movement is just beyond impressive, and that's the key of winning. Ball movement, like because a lot of the players they have some good playmaking abilities, like, and then we're gonna head on to Luke Kennard, basically like the big X factor in this game. That man was literally making everything. He cannot miss. He was looking like Tyler Hero in the bubble. He was making all the tough shots. Well, maybe not tough shots, but key shots that pretty much like threw the nail against the Lakers and pretty much kind of pretty much killed the Lakers momentum and jacked up the Clippers momentum. And oh boy, especially the fourth quarter, Luke Kennard was going off. And with me, with Luke, I kind of showed my little frustration against Luke Kennard in the beginning of the season, but Luke Kennard, he is reminding me again that he has moments. He has moments that he could have amazing games like this. But another thing I would like to point out is, I'm not gonna lie, players like Carmelo Anthony and Malik Monk kind of scared me a bit because they were making tough shots too. They were literally carrying the Lakers offense, and they were the reason why the games was close. But I'm really glad we came off with this W because, you know, we showed that we could also perform well against really talented teams, and especially a super team. Basically, without Kawhi Leonard and Nick Batum, that's just beyond impressive. Well, that will just pretty much wrap up this video, and good night, Clipper Nation, and be sure to get that petition signed, bruh, because we all want to see the Clippers play the Mavs, correct? I'm I'm sure y'all want to see the Clippers versus the Mavs instead of the Jazz versus the Mavs, because who would want to see the Jazz versus the Mavs over Clippers versus Mavs? And also, the NBA and ESPN, they pretty much are kicking themselves now because they really put the Suns versus the Warriors instead of this beautiful game. Yeah, good job, ESPN. Good marketing. Well, good night, Clipper Nation, and as y'all know, go Clippers.